Okay, so everyone, welcome to our Let's Talk Loans webinar. My name is Selena Archer and I work along with Mrs. Ferguson in the Business Development Department to bring you special events like this one, our member empowerment events that give you more information about our products here at the Teachers and Salaried Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Just before we get started, I'm going to just do a few little bit of, or a few housekeeping notes. We want to keep this meeting safe for everyone. So we want to make sure as well that our presenter has a chance to go through her presentation. So if you do want to ask questions, please do so in chat. But at the end of this session, there will be a question and answer period where you can raise hand and unmute mics, and then you can also ask questions then. If you have any questions, please email us at info@tswccul.org. I will put that in the chat momentarily. And if you have your camera switched on as we do, remember that as you can see us, we can see you. So you just want to make sure that everything's copacetic with the backgrounds. If you are receiving inappropriate messages, please message myself or Elaine Ferguson to let us know. Mrs. Ferguson, I'm going to make you co-host now. And we will deal with that for you.
Thank you.
And if you'd like more information on the products that you hear about tonight or additional savings products that we do have, please visit www.tswccul.org. So it is my pleasure to turn this presentation over to our branch manager from Abaco, Mrs. Hardasha Marsh.
Good evening to all. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we're going to be speaking about the several consumer loan products that we offer at Teachers and Salaried Workers. So we're going to begin briefly. We're just going to speak about our new and used automobile loans. We have a product out there in reference to the new auto loans that we call the Sign and Drive. That product is mainly comprising of 7 years, 7%, no down payment for new vehicles. 7 years, 7%, no down payment for brand new vehicles. Now, for those persons who may not be interested in a new vehicle, they also have the option of purchasing a used auto. However, depending on the year of the vehicle, there will be a requirement, a deposit requirement for the vehicle itself. So depending on the year of the vehicle, those down payments can range from 20% to as high as 35% in reference to the used vehicles. And in terms of the repayment terms, they can low as 2 years and as high as 6 years when it comes to used automobiles. So it's just a matter of having your information available so we can assist you in seeing what payment is comfortable for you in terms of the repayment for the vehicle loans. Now, we also at this time with this, we know we're now in the hurricane season and everybody's concerned about backup power. So we're now offering a generator loan product through Marlin Marine located in Nassau. We also, this particular product, depending on the generator size, we have various costs for the generator itself, depending on the kilowatts. So depending on the size, and once you would have had a conversation with your electrician regarding the size of the generator, once again, we can provide you with the payments and the deductions required. Now, in all instances for this particular product, the interest rate would be 12%. Now, you have the option, this will be probably most specific to persons located in Nassau with the purchase of the generator. You have the option of also having it installed along with the gas tank as a part of the package. However, that rate will differ along with the purchase of the generator itself. So when you come into the branches and discuss, you need to determine if it's just the purchase of the generator or the installation as well. So we also can provide you with the payments for that as well. And as you can see on the flyer displayed, the 10% discount has already been calculated in the purchase prices that we'll discuss with you. So you're already receiving a discount when you come in to teach us regarding the generator product. Okay, we also have home improvement loans. We have home improvement loans that, once again, this is the time of the year that persons are interested in improving their homes and just trying to do a little bit of fix-upper before the holiday season kicks in. So we also offer home improvements. Now there's two ways you can come and apply for this particular loan as a consumer loan, or you can have an equity loan for those persons who may have mortgages. You would want to you have the option of applying for equity loan, which is topping up your mortgage back to its original amount if you take that route of the equity loan for home improvement. So once again, it's just a matter of coming with your information, and we will do our best to provide you with the best possible rate and payment that we can offer for you for the product itself. If we can go on, yes. So in Pacific, we're going to spend a lot of time on our self-employed empowerment loan product. This particular product is geared towards self-employed persons as well as persons that may have another source of income that may be employed elsewhere. But we're going to start out and speak specifically to the participants in terms of who can take part in the product itself. So as we said self-employed or partially self-employed individuals who are traders involved in the production and or distribution of the buying and selling of specific products for the rendering of their specific services, either full-time or as a secondary source of income. So the purpose of this loan would be specific for the business that you're operating, for the injection into your business itself. And therefore, we have, like we said, there's a maximum amount of $25,000. The maximum repayment period, we have 7 years. And this particular loan can stand by itself. However, you may want to have, you would like to consolidate some of your personal debt as a part of the loan itself. Once that personal debt does not exceed 20% of the proposal, it should be accommodating where we can accommodate that personal debt into this particular loan amount itself. But it has to be a total of $25,000. Now, keep in mind, you may not need $25,000 at your first application. You can come in intervals. You may only need $10,000 or $15,000. You can return, of course, after a 6-month consistent payment history. However, the product itself only allows you to top up to $25,000. So for example, you come in for $10,000, you may need another $15,000, but at the end of the day, this particular loan product can only have a maximum loan amount of $25,000. Now we can, in terms of the requirements, speaking specifically to the strictly self-employed members, they would have to establish a deposit account with us. And also in terms of presenting their documentation, we would need to see that they have a savings account elsewhere for at least 3 years, showing their deposit volume, either with us or elsewhere. Now, in terms of us assessing the required payment or seeing that you're capable of accommodating the payment, we would perform an assessment of 2 years of your banking history to verify that you have the capacity to make the required payment. So you definitely would need to present a 2-year history on your banking history or your savings or in relations to that specific business that you're coming to borrow. So it has to be an existing business with an existing bank account and with a minimum of 2 years history that you'll have to submit in terms of us making an assessment to see if we'll be able to assist you at the time. Now, for those self-employed persons that earn a salary, we definitely still would need to see the banking history on that particular business itself. And we also would also consider your salary that you're making elsewhere. But the most important thing is we need to see the activity of the business itself to make sure that it carries enough activity to accommodate the payment. Now, in terms of the payment, that's you're going to establish a savings account with us, and the intention is for us to debit the account on a monthly basis to ensure that the payments are made timely. Now, in terms as a part of the factoring, either determining if the application will be, we can say approve or not approve, there's certain requirements to be met. We have the debt service ratio and the credit scoring. So as a part of the application itself, once we assess your debt, your debits, and also as well as your other commitments you may have out there, such as your credit card, your insurances, and rent, when we calculate your total debt versus your total income, which is the debt service ratio, that should not be more than 55%. So at the end of the day, when we consider the new loan payment, your other commitments such as insurances, rent, and other loans that you may have out there, that debt service ratio should not exceed 55%. As well as we have a credit score as well. When we complete that credit score model, we're looking for a minimum grade of 29 points. So at the end of the day, there are particulars that we have to, information that we pass through our system, and the debt service ratio should not be more than 55%. And we're looking for you to have at least a minimum credit score of 29 points. The rates that we offer for this particular program, we offer the rates of 12 to 14%, and the rate is determined based on your share balance, the deposit that you may make, as well as the credit score and that DSR that you receive as once we do the assessment. And regardless of the rate, the term, or the injection, every participant will be required to save a minimum of at least $50 per month towards a retirement account. So along with saving on your shares, you're saving on a retirement account, and at the end of the repayment period, those funds will be available to you. Now, for those particular members that are coming in for a cash secured under this particular program, they would attract a rate of 5%. So the 12 to 14% would be for those persons not cash secured, and for those persons that are cash secured, they would attract a rate of 5%. Now, other than having to provide the banking history as well as being a member, there's other requirements to be met. Of course, you must be a Bahamian citizen or a legal resident of the Bahamas. You must provide proof of your national contribution for those strictly self-employed persons. And of course, you would need to have a valid business license. And in terms of repayment methods, we would need to ensure that you can accommodate the monthly payment on a monthly basis from your savings account that will be established with us. And in terms of the repayment, all of our loans will have to be finished, must not exceed the age of 65. So once we consider your age and we consider the remaining time to retirement, but remember now, everything was the maximum repayment time is 7 years, but at the end of the day, repayments will not be beyond your 65th birthday. Okay, that is it in a nutshell in terms of the particular products that we offer, but in specific, the self-employment loan product.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Marsh. Does anyone have any questions about any of the loan products that we have available at the Teachers and Salaried Workers Cooperative Credit Union? Miss Marsh, from a private question, the home improvement loans, can I use the equity in my home to facilitate the down payment?
It's not really, wouldn't be required because I would hope that this person is a member and they have a share account. So if that is the case, a deposit wouldn't be required.
Okay, just to clarify, so there is no down payment necessary once you are a member?
With a share deposit. Now, coming in as a new member, they may have to, because it all depends on where that mortgage loan is sitting. Does that mortgage loan sit for teachers or elsewhere?
From the chat, it sits with another institution.
Okay, so that would be a whole different scenario. And in terms of injecting equity into properties not mortgaged by teachers, our ceiling on those equity loans would be $5,000.
Okay, thank you. And can you go in, sorry, this is another question just coming through from the private chat. Can you give the information on the used auto loans again, the length or the age of the car and then the deposit?
Okay, I'll start with the brand new cars. Brand new cars, we have a 7%, we call it sign and drive. 7%, 7 years, no down payment for brand new vehicles, brand new vehicles. Now, for those used vehicles, I will go down with the required down payments. For a 1-year-old vehicle, 20% down payment could be required. Repayment term up to 6 years. For a 2-year-old vehicle, 25% down payment, up to 4 years repayment. 3 years old, 30% down payment, up to 3 years. And 4-year-old vehicle, 35% down, up to 2 years repayment.
Thank you. Another question in relation to the auto loans is, sorry, do you also offer insurances with the auto loans?
Yes, they can walk with the insurance quote, and when the loans are calculated, we can incorporate the insurance payment. And in terms of the monthly payment, we can also establish an escrow where they will be saving for the following year insurance payment. So when the insurance is due, the monies are sitting on their account. It's just a matter of making a payment. So we can finance the insurance along with the vehicle purchase.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question coming in through the general chat. If purchasing a REPO home under $100,000 and being qualified for $150,000, how will the funds for repairs be incorporated? Meaning, is it all the same down payment and monthly payments?
Well, if it's under 100,000, that depending on, remember now, for our consumer loans, the repayment, maximum repayment period is 7 years. Whereas for consumers, they can be extended over 10 plus years. So that particular member, when we come and discuss, we can decide which route they would like to take, a consumer loan or a mortgage loan. And with we can opt to do the purchase of the home as a mortgage and the renovation portion as a consumer. There's so much scenarios we can work, but it's best we look at the repayments, and it's just a matter of them seeing what they're comfortable with, as well as us falling within the required DSR.
Thank you. Another question from private chat. Can you share info on new mortgages on the construction of a home? I guess that's just maybe some of the requirements, Ms. Marsh.
The requirements for a new mortgage?
It looks like a new mortgage for the construction of a home. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the checklist. So definitely, first thing I would recommend is that they come in for an assessment. We need to do an assessment of their salary to see how much of a mortgage that the salary can accommodate. And once they're informed of that information, the next step would be, of course, to shop around. And in terms of the application submission, you would require the appraisal report, the employment letter, the pay slip, as well as any other debts that may be out there, because we may want to incorporate that into that purchase or construction of the home itself. So the first step is to come in to be assessed to see exactly, to know exactly how much of a mortgage your salary can accommodate. So then you can go back out there, and when you're shopping, you know exactly what your purchase power is about.
Thank you. Another question. I'm in the process of gathering paperwork for a mortgage. Would it be best? Okay, this is going back to the question in reference to the mortgages and, sorry, the repo home and repairs. It says, I'm in the process of gathering paperwork for mortgage. Would it be best to split the purchase price and the repairs? So as to what you were saying, would it be best to get a mortgage and then an additional loan then for the repairs to the home?
Yes, it would be best, because you don't want to, I mean, mortgages are extend over 10, 15, 20 years. You wouldn't want to put repairs into that. You want to keep that separate so that payment can fall away. So it would be recommended that they be split into two different loans.
Okay, perfect. Are there any additional questions for Ms. Marsh? This is the time, guys, to ask all of the questions you ever wanted to know about loans. We've heard about a few that are offered today, but if you have additional questions, please let us know. And while we wait to see if there is anyone that will ask any questions, would you be able to tell us the requirements for someone who wants to become a member?
Okay, in order to become a member, you would need to work with your employment letter, valid identification, which is a valid passport or driver's license, the NIB. Now I know that we are accepting expired NIB, so don't fret about that. You can walk with the letter or the expired card. So employment letter, valid identification, passport or driver's license, your NIB, and the entrance fee of $278.50.
Thank you. Question from private chat. Does the credit union pay dividends to members?
Yes, we do. Once a year, November.
Thank you. That seems to be all of the questions that we have. So we're gonna do a last call on questions. You can type them or you can unmute the mic and ask the question if you'd like. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry. Here we do have a question. What is, okay, 2 questions. Good. They came flooding in. 1 second. Let me just make sure I have the first question. What is the typical turnaround time for a non-member applying to become a member to receive a pre-qualification for a mortgage?
Well, the membership time, you can come in on a average lunch break and be processed, because you walk right up to member service. They come once you have all of the documents completed. It's just a matter of keying in the information, and once that is completed, they can guide you over to loans to have a conversation with the mortgage specialist, who can assess your salary and provide you with the pre-qualification information.
Thank you so much. And then our second question is, how do I go about making an appointment for the assessment? And this was in reference to, I believe, the repo and the renovation question.
Well, for mortgages, you can send an email to mortgages@tswccul.org. But from the consumer perspective, you can walk in.
Okay. And then we have one
This is
more.
a walk-in system in terms.
Walk into any of the branches, which is in New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco. Here is another question. I took my bank records in to find out how much I'm qualified for. I did that already, but the checklist for the mortgage is requiring me to produce bank records would I need to do that again?
This is to obtain a pre-qualification. What exactly they're trying to?
Miss Williams, is that a pre-qualification for, oh, sorry, it is for a mortgage.
Yes, I went in to find out how much I was qualified for, and after I was told how much I was qualified for, she gave me a checklist. But the checklist is telling me to bring in my bank records again. I was wondering if I have to carry the bank records in again to apply for the mortgage.
Well, we would like to have recent information. So I would recommend, if you bring as recent as you can, I recommend recent information. Yes.
Thank you. How long after becoming a member can I obtain a loan?
Once your membership has been ratified, which we every 2 weeks, we have submission for ratification for new members. So I would say within a month, just to be sure that your membership has been ratified.
Thank you. Can this info be emailed to participants? Yes, we have recorded this session, and what we will do is we will just make sure we fix it up a little bit, and then we will send it to everyone within a 5-day period. So this information will be sent out through email. Is there an internal cap for a mortgage for a residential property regardless of salary? For example, some institutions would have a hard cap of 300,000 despite your salary qualifications.
Well, our ceilings for mortgages is 250,000.
Okay. Does that answer everyone's questions that came in through the chat? If you need further clarification, please unmute your mic and then we will see if we can assist. Okay, so I'll do my countdown again, just in case anyone has any additional questions to ask. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, I think that is all of the questions. We'd like to thank everyone for spending this time with us this evening. We know that you are busy people. Mrs. Marsh, thank you for staying behind and accommodating us to answer all of these questions and also to give us all of this information on our consumer loans. Mrs. Ferguson, as always, pleasure working with you. And we wish everyone a very good evening. Look out for those emails. They will be sent within the week.